It's Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and my Wealth Wednesday partner, Stacey Tisdale, is here.
Happy Wealth Wednesdays, everybody, and we are taking you way up this financial literacy month. We're going to educate entrepreneurs out there on how to get money from their business in unexpected ways, because we have the Haitian CEO.
Hello, young lady. Stacey, thank you for having me. Angela, I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity.
And Herman, that's my uncle's name, by the way, too. So my youngest uncle, yeah.
Good. Positive vibes.
Yes, his real name is Herman Dolce.
Yes.
He goes by the Haitian CEO. He's an incredible entrepreneur who has taught entrepreneurs how to get money for their business, and that's the only reason we have you here.
It's something I just had to deal with, too, because a lot of times you're bootstrapping your business out of your own pocket. Sometimes, when it comes to loans, I mean, it was a whole process for us. But, even figuring out how to make sure you get credit cards, making sure that you can pay your bills on time. Sometimes you don't have the cash on hand to be able to handle things. So I know for you helped a lot of your friends when you first got started.
Yeah, when I first got into game, one of my taglines is success has receipts. So before I went out and went on social media, I had to have proof of concept. So I went to my friends and family first, and I was like, hey, you got good credit. Let me help you get these credit cards in your business name. They was like, in my business name? I was like, yeah, well, let me start an LLC up for you first. And then I helped them get approved because they had pretty good credit profiles. And then I was able to share that on social media, the proof of concept, show those receipts, and then I was trusted to be an expert in this space. And that was 7 years ago, and it's been an interesting ride.
That's what Herman does. He helps people leverage their credit.
And you have to have
good money.
You have to have good personal credit.
Yeah, talk about that link.
That's why credit is so important, right?
Correct, right. So when people come to me and it's like, hey, I want to get money in my business name, right? Because business credit cards, those business loans or lines of credit, of course, they don't show up on your personal side. So you can max out the cards for your business deals and you're in the ball game. But in order to do that, the banks are going to look at your personal credit first, because the banks, they know Herman Dolce, right? They don't know my business, Bellison Enterprises. So I have to vouch for my business. So I'm like, nah, he's good. They're gonna be like, all right, you vouching for this person? You vouching for this business? Absolutely. So they look at my credit. There's like, if you're good with your credit, then you're definitely gonna be good with your business's credit, and you get way more money on the business side. So this is why it's my passion when people are starting up their businesses, go this way first to get the capital.
Right. Because sometimes if you can't take out a loan right away, because sometimes you need to have like a certain amount of history.
Correct.
Right. To have, say, your business operating for 2 years, or you have to have made a certain amount of money. But being able to get a credit card is kind of like also being able to get a loan, but it's you can use your personal credit against that, which is a valuable thing, because there is nothing more stressful than when you're a business owner and you owe money to a lot of people, and maybe sometimes it's bringing in goods that you can't get because you haven't paid on these yet, but you don't have the money to pay because you're waiting for this person to pay you. There's a lot that goes into running a business and money coming in and going out in a timely fashion.
Right. My best example that I say with is, because I want to talk about this also, is having different type of business partners. I call my business credit cards my business partners. The first business partner anyone should have is their job.
Okay.
So before you go borrowing other people's money and messing up the bag, have proof of concept first. So my guy Storm Leroy, he was one of my mentors.
Yeah,
and
he's been on here many times.
That's my guy. And when he said it, I was like, yo, he's absolutely right. So the savings that I got after I paid my bills for my job, that's the money I invested into my business first, and it worked. Now I'm able to put gasoline on a proof of concept, and that's when I go to my second business partners, which are American Express, Chase, etc. And then when your business blows up, you go to venture capitalists and you ask them for money too.
All right, that's
so
a
there's
good
levels
3
to the
steps.
game.
Okay,
yes,
I like that.
There's levels to the game.
Some people can't get their head around this personal credit, business credit, because so many, particularly in our community, entrepreneurs bootstrap.
Right.
So talk about the difference. And I remember in a conversation we had, so many people don't realize that when you get your business to a point where you can get business credit cards and stuff, it doesn't affect your personal credit.
Correct. It doesn't affect you. So I'll give you a good story with that. So when I first started my entrepreneur journey, I got into real estate like everybody does. We watched a couple of HTV.
The real estate queen.
Yeah, right here. I know.
Yes.
We watched a couple of TV shows. We watched a couple of TV shows, and we were like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. So I paid for everything with credit cards. So contractors, materials, $40,000 in credit card debt. And what happens when you max out your personal credit cards? Your credit score tanks.
Yes, it does.
So when it was time for me to cash out refi to take money out the deal, I couldn't. So I ended up having to rent it out for 2 years before I can recoup my money back because I didn't have a mentor and I wasn't educated.
Lesson, right.
It was an expensive lesson, but it was tuition. But now that I'm smarter, whenever I get into real estate deals, I use my business credit cards. I can max them out, do what I need to do. And it's not going to hurt my personal. I'm still in the 800 club, cash out refi, and I'm on to the next one.
And you know what I noticed that a lot of credit cards are doing now too? They're letting you take out a line of credit.
Yeah.
Yes.
As well. And also, like an Amex card, before you had to pay the whole thing off. Now they're letting you pay in installments. And a lot of people are doing this, like these installment plans as far as credit cards, so you don't have to pay the whole thing off at once. And maybe you pay like a small percentage of interest.
Right.
But now you're not having to pay the full thing. I feel like that's fairly newer.
It is. They seem to really be embracing the new entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah,
especially Amex.
Right, because they're a charge card, and that's my favorite. Shout out to American Express. Hopefully one day, you know what I'm saying, y'all take care of me. But I love American Express. My wonderful CEO, Damaris, she puts about 30 to 50 on it every single month.
Okay.
So
slide our stuff in there too.
I know.
At least.
We'll be with you.
I probably wouldn't.
You're never leaving this room.
I probably wouldn't notice. But I saw when they first started it, it's like, hey, you could just pay 15 and the rest you can pay over 90 days. And I was like, oh, this is really new. Now, cautionary tale, remember, the relationships you have with these banks are super important. I just continue to pay it in full in 30 days because I want to leverage my future relationships with them, get higher credit limit increases. I don't always want to have a balance with them, but I know in the case of an emergency, I know I can play that game with them.
Right.
I just got something from them asking me if I want a line of credit for my business, and I totally get how great this whole thing is.
Right.
But personally, I get nervous because I'm like, a line of credit using my business credit cards and stuff, it is a debt. And that makes me nervous.
But if it's an emergency?
Oh, it's an emergency. It's debt. But talk about the importance of just not going out and say, I'm an entrepreneur, I can get this line of credit. You have to know that your business is good enough that you can pay it back.
Correct. So
right?
It's not free money.
It's not free
not
money.
A PPP loan.
Right. Oh, too soon.
I'm kidding.
I had to.
We loved those.
I had to actually pivot some of my business to educate people because I'm the business credit guy. We're getting $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 in funding. But I realized something. I was giving people money who really didn't know what to do with the money once they got it.
Right.
They saw the platinum card and some
let
shiny.
me pay off my credit card.
Right.
Let's pay my cousin back. All
Exactly.
This stuff. Yeah, no.
And I'm like, guys, even when I first started my entrepreneurial journey and I didn't have an exit plan with the real estate deal, I'm telling everybody you need to have a business plan up front, especially with this credit card debt. That's why I say use your money first to make sure that the proof of concept works. Have a business plan because these banks will give you $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and you need to have a plan with it from jump so that you're able to pay it off every month. $50,000, 0% interest is only $500 a month.
Right.
If you can't pay $500 a month, you should not be in business, right? If you don't have a play to make that happen. So cautionary tale, it's a gift and a curse, but it's a wonderful gift if you use it right.
Now, can you talk about how you even got into starting your own business with Bellison Academy? And I know you had a regular day job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you
You're
saw
a social worker.
I was a social worker. Yes. I went to Temple and then I went to Lincoln and got my master's degree. And I was a social worker. Then I was an executive director at a nonprofit. And shout out to a good friend of mine, Charlene. She told me that you only make as much as your clients do. So as a social worker, your clients don't make any money. And I ended up going to Italy for my baby moon with my wife, Janelle, right? Baby moon is a trip you take before your first kid comes because I knew your life is never going to be the same after that. So had a blast, had a great time. We were there for like 9-10 days. Came back. I had no more vacation time. And I was telling my brother it was the best trip I've ever had. It was amazing. But now when Bella came, I couldn't spend any time with her because I had to go to work. And he said the old Jay-Z line, unless you own your own, you'll never be free. And I was like, well, what am I going to sell? What am I going to do? He's like, that credit thing that you do, like you should start charging people for that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to charge people for that. Like, people really need that game. And he was like, they're going to pay somebody. They might as well pay you. So that was the birth of Bellison Enterprises, where we started helping people with their credit, helping them get funding. But the Bellison Academy came into fruition when I realized there's a lot of adults that do not know or have access to this education at all. So we started a mentorship program where we started teaching people. We have amazing coaches. Shout out to Regine, shout out to Coach Mike, who teach this to adults. This wonderful information about credit, leveraging it, starting businesses, investing. And now we're taking it to the next level where we're going to be teaching youth, children, college people, because it starts at a younger age. Our counterparts have this information much younger. So I was like, let's get this information to younger people.
You know, that's valuable because I feel like it's worth it. If it's going to save me money and make me money, I'll pay for it. You know,
and you're not even expensive. I can't believe how inexpensive.
Right.
Academy
is only $50 a month.
Academy.com.
That's it. And we, thank you so much.
Academy.com.
I appreciate that. It's $50 a month, and we meet every single Wednesday night for 2 to 3 hours, and we teach.
Right.
What do you teach people?
So we teach. So the two main cores is helping them repair their credit, fixing their credit, establishing their credit. Because fixing your credit is one thing, but then you have to establish good credit also for a period of time. Then we teach them how to set up their LLC property, their business properly, because you just can't go into a bank and get money. You have to have a website, business phone number, business address, business email. You got to look pro. So we help them set that up, and then we help them get the funding for their businesses. And then we have different coaches come on week to week who are in different entrepreneur spaces. I don't know everything, so I got to bring different speakers on that talk about, hey, I'm in Turo, hey, I'm doing Airbnb, hey, I'm in a syndication deal in real estate. So these different speakers come on and teach and educate our mentees.
This is $50 a month.
$50 a month, yes.
BellisonAcademy.com.
Yes.
Wow.
And what about the people you surround yourself with? Because I always talk about how important that is, like the circle of people who are around you. Because I'm always still a student too. Like in spite of all the things that I've learned and that I know, I always feel like, you know, Stacy will come in here and teach me something. Wealth Wednesday, I always learn a lot when we have different guests.
We've learned so much from Wealth Wednesdays together. Yeah. I'm like, I want to learn about that. Let's bring somebody on.
But you know, I think that's important too, to talk about the process, because some people might feel like I have it all. I don't need any, you know, anything additional. But I think even for me, I'm still taking classes, still trying to get certified 100%. In certain things, and still trying to learn and grow. So how important is your circle?
If your mentor doesn't have a mentor or isn't still learning, then you're in trouble. So I always circle myself around people who know more than me, who are richer than me, who are more educated than me, more wiser than me. So I have another tagline called Audit Your Circle, right? So as you see, I brought an amazing team with me. They do a lot of the heavy lifting. They point me in the right direction. And this is one of the things I always advise people to do the same thing too, because I'm still taking mentorships. I'm still taking classes. Again, Storm's one of my guys. I always call Storm like, hey, I need advice on this.
Right.
He's like,
it's
what's
great
up?
to have somebody you could.
Yeah.
Shout out to Storm Leroy, Marvin Mitchell, Ashcast, our buddies Path to Prosperity. Big shout out.
Amazing.
But you
guys.
touched on something. And we were having this conversation a couple of weeks ago with Pinky Cole. A lot of small businesses.
And I saw you just had Pinky Cole on
yes,
with you,
yes.
too.
She blessed
Derek,
the stage.
Yes,
and her husband. Yeah.
Both two amazing
Dr. Derek.
entrepreneurs.
Yes,
Dr.
Dr. Derek.
Dr.
Yes.
Derek. Shout out to both of them.
Shout out to them.
She was saying, hire slowly, fire quickly. A lot of entrepreneurs get into the situation where they should be auditing their circle, but they just have a hard time doing that. Talk about how important that is.
Thank God I hired Damaris to handle that, because I'm too nice of a guy.
Right.
She can tell. Yeah. She can tell quickly if something isn't going to work out with somebody. And I think I saw Gary Vee talk about this one time. The reason why we take so long to fire people is because of our ego. Because you sat through the interview process with them and they fooled you.
Right.
And in 2 to 3 weeks, you should figure out that it's not going to work. Let them go. Fire quickly so you get the next person in. But no, we want to give them 90 days and see if it works. No, get them out of here, because you have a business to run and it's costing you money teaching them things.
You know what else too? I want to talk about, you call your label is the Haitian CEO.
Yes.
So what does your background have to do with even like your work ethic?
Oh, wow. That kind of goes to how my parents worked. They were from the amazing island of Haiti. And they were extremely hard workers. Both parents had 2 jobs. You know that story. Originally from Brooklyn, New York. It was 5 of us, me and my brother Kevin, my sister Kara, put us in an apartment. It was a 1-bedroom. They saved their money, moved us to Philly, 3-bedroom home. So they worked really hard. That type of ethic you saw every single day, it put it inside of me. But I also like to say that my parents prepared me for a world that no longer exists, because my parents are from Haiti, where the American dream was to get a college education and you'll be fine. that world doesn't exist anymore.
At all. True.
So when I told my mom I was quitting my job, and my 6-figure job at the time, because I finally moved into tech for like 6 months, right? And then I was able to pivot into business and tell my mom, hey, I'm gonna do this instead. She was losing her mind. She's like, what? You're quitting your job? Are you crazy? I was like, Mom, you gotta trust me. Like, I'll make more money doing this. And I actually, to this day, I have to convince her. And sometimes she doesn't even know what I do. She's like, you're going to New York to do what? You're going to be on whose show? I was like, I'm going to work. She's like, that's work? She's like, nah, it's work. I got to go.
But you do love what you do. And I think that's
love what I
important
do.
too, because it is helping people. It is educating people. It is learning from people as well.
Yeah, income and impact.
Yeah.
So to be able to make money while helping people and changing people's lives, and they're showing me the receipts of what they've done is ball game. People stopping you on the street, not because necessarily you're a celebrity, but because, hey, Herman, I was able to get this off my credit. It went up 100 points. I got $10,000. I was able to quit my job. And those stories are always amazing.
That's awesome. How did you build? Now let's talk about your entrepreneur expertise for a minute.
Right.
So you started this after your brother told you start charging people for the credit help. And that was 2017?
2017.
2017.
Yeah. And
now you have a multi-million-dollar business.
Allegedly. Right. Yes, we
So
do.
talk about.
He pays his taxes.
I pays my taxes.
Oh,
Right.
that's right.
It's that
Wrong day,
time.
wrong
It's
day,
that time,
wrong day, wrong day. How did you do that?
Number one, like we talked about earlier, having the right people around you and understanding the market that I'm in, right? So I'm successful in business because I ask the market what they want, and then I charge the market for the answer, right? I have a freemium model. So on my Instagram, Haitian_CEO, I give a lot of stuff away for free information, right? This is what you got to do to fix your credit. You get funding this way. And what do people do? They go execute on the information, and it works, right? So I literally tell people, I'm going to give you the money to pay me, right? So you do this, you
And
do
then
this.
some.
And then some, right? So now I'm going to give you the $50 a month to come to the academy, right? Because I used to charge way more money for my academy. It used to be $1,000. And then Damaris, you have to have somebody looking at your numbers. She's like, listen, we're down like 80%.
People stopped paying those big fees.
People
for
start paying those
coaching
big
and
fees.
challenges
Exactly.
And all that stuff, they stopped.
And she's like, listen, we're down 70%. I'm like, you're kidding. She's like, yeah. So we pivoted to a subscription model, right? And it just went absolutely ridiculous. We have thousands of subscribers now. And now we have the capital to invest in other businesses and invest right back into our mentees. Because now we can get higher level coaches to come and teach them, and we're able to afford to pay them because we have many subscribers. It's like Netflix. They do better shows now because they have many subscribers. We have a better platform because we have many subscribers now. So that type of pivot and understanding business can make you sink or swim if you're not paying attention.
See, that's why it's always a process.
Yeah, it's
it
always a
is.
process. Right.
How much did it help you? I saw the Philadelphia Tribune did a story on you during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
At that time, were you just focusing on personal credit mostly?
Personal credit. We didn't pivot totally to business totally. But yeah, we were kind of doing both at the time. That interview, I don't know how they found me, but they found me because they were surprised that they wanted to know how entrepreneurs were pivoting during the world being closed, which is a crazy time. The world was really closed. But that was one of the first time that my business had to pivot because I was doing a lot of in-person events. And that's when I was able to quit my job because once a month I was doing a mini conference. 200-300 people would show up. We would charge them at the door, and I only had to do that once a month.
Right.
And then bills were paid, and I had a little extra change in my pocket. But the world shut down. What was I going to do? That's what wonderful Zoom and Google Sheets and all that stuff. We was able to move our business online. And then, of course, you reach more people online.
Right.
And it's absolutely exploded.
And so many people, especially in our community, got into that credit crunch.
Exactly.
They just ran into a financial wall. And
Exactly.
they really had to take an honest look at it.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, how can people find you if they want to sign up for Bellison Academy, if they want to, directly get some help from you?
So if they want to become a subscriber to join our mentorship where we teach them about credit, leveraging their credit and getting business credit and learning many other things, they can go to www.bellisonacademy.com. It's only $50 a month. It's no commitment. You can quit whenever you want. We would love to be a service. And you can go to bellisonllc.com if you want your credit fixed or if you want some funding. We would love to be a service to you.
And if you text Angela to 610-819.
I knew you were going to say that.
I know.
Go ahead. Start over. Go ahead.
And if you text Angela to 610-819-7627, you get 5 free ebooks on how to build business credit and structure your business as well.
Free.
We love free.
You
We
need
love
to say
free.
that number again.
There's no reason you can't afford that,
Yeah.
okay? It's 610-819-7627. Just text Angela.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
The Haitian CEO. We're gonna
Can I talk about one thing before we wrap it
sure,
up?
of course.
So I have 2 books coming out. I want to make sure we talk about,
excellent.
yes. So 2 books come out. Make sure you guys get a copy because we want to get these books in younger kids' hands. Bella Bill's Business Credit. And we have another one called, for my second daughter, Olivia, The ABCs of Credit.
Yeah, Olivia needs hers too.
Olivia needs one too.
Bella's got
And then that book is really good because A is for Apple, B is for balance, C is for credit, because we want to get this information into younger hands as soon as possible. And we'd love to leave a couple copies for you guys.
Oh, I love that. Well,
Thank you so much for having me, Angela. I appreciate it.
Thank
Stacey,
you
it's
so
been a
much
pleasure.
for being here. We appreciate it. Happy Wealth Wednesdays, everybody.